You know what makes a build better? Just add water. And I'm not talking about those convenient AIOs. Not yet anyway. I'm talking about those fabulously complex custom PC loops. I'm here to tell you, don't be fooled. These builds can be literal babies, and they will poop on themselves. And you. Okay, sorry, let me back up. I won't dissuade you from investing in a sick custom loop PC, but I do want you to know it's probably a lot more maintenance than you were expecting. And the worst thing you could do is spend a ton of money on a headache. I got 6 tips to help you ask the right questions before you begin your wet build, from start to maintenance. Let's get it. Hi, I'm ChelseaBytes. I've built a ton of computers, from portable builds to custom loops. Let me tell you, nothing will stress you out more than a custom loop. But it doesn't have to be difficult. I'm going to cover the major points you need to know before you start. 1. Colored coolant causes more problems. I'm going to start right here. I know a lot of you might have seen a build with all these beautiful colors racing all throughout several thirst trap builds. This is exactly why I call them that. Trap builds. No matter what type of coolant you get, if it has any pigment, it will most likely denature from the heat of your components, and it will collect in any of your parts. This may be your reservoir, your pump, CPU or GPU block, or somewhere along the circuit. This has happened to me. You'll notice that your coolant will be super vibrant and gorgeous those first few weeks. Then it will slowly start to fade. And that pigment has to go somewhere. Whenever you put a pigmented coolant in your PC, you basically put a timer on it, like a slow building diaper, because you will have to change it. And if you don't, your computer will rewrite the definition of diarrhea. I recommend considering distilled water as your initial cooling solution because it won't stain your system, nor will it strip your parts. It will also pre-flush your pipes before you add your next coolant in. Which leads to my second point. No vinegar or bleach to clean your PC. Okay, to reiterate, don't put bleach or vinegar in your system. You will strip the out of any metal or rubber you have on your blocks. Now, yes, if you have any fungal growth, you need to go and buy a biocide for a more effective clean. If you don't want to listen to me, then make sure you dilute the vinegar before you put it in your system. But don't do it for long. Chemistry is dangerous. Instead, use distilled water and flush your parts before you completely close off your loop. Do all the hard work first. It shouldn't be boiling or anything. You just need a lot. See the pattern? Distilled water is your friend. Clean that out. Number 3, buy a drain valve. Before you fill your build for the first time, you need to have this valve installed. You will regret it if you skip this step. You did all that work putting your coolant in. How are you gonna get it out? I know the bill is probably already high, but this is a requirement. A drain valve lets you do what the name implies. Drain your loop by twisting the valve open. That way you can prep and attach a tube so you don't make a mess when you clear it out. It's also very important to place this valve at the lowest point possible on your build, because gravity. Trust, you don't want to have to blow your PC. Pause. Number 4, for your convenience, buy some elbow fittings. If you're not great with shaping your tubes by hand, elbows will help reduce the amount of curves you'd have to do manually. It also adds a little extra chic to it. Bonus tip for making it this far, use a pipe cleaner to make a draft of your tubing. This will also help you estimate the length of your tube as well. If you just learned this, leave me a like, because I deserve it. Of course, this also depends on if you're using hard or soft tubing. Soft tubing's easier, and it's for soft arm lint lickers. It also does look really cool too, so I'm not that much of a hater. You can probably skip the elbows if you're using soft tubing. Number 5, fill your reservoir when your computer is off. Air doesn't spill, but water does. And when you turn your computer off, it needs to make room for all that air you can't see running around in your computer. Number 6, buy extra. I don't care what you think. Buy extra tubings, extra fittings, extra coolant, etc. I think this is a must if it's your first time. It's easier than you think to need another fitting or an extra elbow or even another tube. I've melted enough tubes to know you're gonna need another box of them before you get started. Of course, ignore the extra tubing if you're just using soft tubes. And those are the things you should think about before you build your first custom loop. Just some final thoughts. I want people to know that building a water-cooled PC isn't necessary. Duh. It's an enthusiast endeavor. Liquid is marginally one of the best ways to cool your PC, and it looks so good. So the only reason you need to buy a wet build is because you want one. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. If you want it, get it. If you've watched this and you don't want to deal with the headache, get an AIO. You can get all the benefits without a laundry list of drawbacks, but you also will lose some of the unique qualities that come with a custom loop. I've gone through a lot with my own custom loop. Byte Junior. Yeah, a lot of juniors. I haven't replaced any broken parts yet, but she's taken several dumps herself that I've had to clean. And I burned my hands. And I might have drowned her once. But she's still kicking! If you're planning on building a wet PC, hopefully this helped you understand a bit more of what you're getting into. Thanks for watching. Help me hack the algorithm by leaving a comment, sharing this video, and following me on my other platforms. Mobo out.